So we have infinite selves, dude. The Lucifer experiment is like the sun. And think about like each planet. How it has, we have a ring around the planet, that describes that planet's orbit. Okay, well, as you look at the whole solar system from like a top down, you can see, that one, and that one, it goes what, like Mercury, Venus,
Mars,
Earth,
yeah.
Mars, and so on and so forth. Think about those rings, So if the sun's in the center, that would be the divine. That would be where we all come from. Well, that would be where we all originally came from. That's where all energy comes from, is the center. The center of the universe. The center, this is like a sub-universe of a universe of a universe of the multiverse of the craziest shit ever to describe. But if you got it mentally, it's just putting it into words and articulating it can be a pain in the ass. But so we decided, okay, well, we can project ourselves out to this first ring. Well, we still have a ton of light. We still have all of our power. We diminish ourselves just a little bit because it takes energy to get there. You know what I mean? So we diminish ourselves, just a bit. But as you do that so many times through so many universes, through so many dimensions of time and space, well, it gets denser and denser and denser and denser, and it takes more and more and more to go from this ring to this ring. Once you get out so far, it's like going through cold, thick air, man. It's harder to get a signal through cold, thick air than it is to, when there's tons of moisture and fog and shit. You can't really see through it, right? It's also hard to get a radio signal through that. The air becomes really dense and really thick, and the molecules that are in it, like such as hydrogen, they become really dense too. Think about projecting your body, your spiritual body, down through these dimensions. As you project your body down through these spiritual dimensions, you have, it's warmer, closer to the light, right? Everything closer to the source of energy is normally at the speed of light. It's moving, it's vibrating at a high rate, man. All the atoms are just flipping, just writhing with flipping energy, just vibrating left and right, man. Just bam, bam, bam. Like we were talking about, as an atom itself, the atoms have a nuclei. Nuclei, and the flipping, the protons, neutrons, and electrons, when they spin around this thing,
and they cause friction.
They cause the friction, see, and then friction is heat. Light is energy. So light creates heat. Heat is transferable. Heat is energy. Light is energy. So if the basis of everything is light, when you have an atom unit creates that centrifugal force, that atom creates its own gravity, like we were talking about the other night. So, excuse me, coffee. So the atom, begins to create its own gravity, its own light. It becomes a solar system within itself. Like it has the same principle as the solar system. The planets spin around the central sun of the central star, and then think about the neutrons, protons, and electrons as the planets.
Yeah.
Same difference. There's some that have elliptical orbits. There's some that have horizontal orbits. That's it. They just kind of exchange themselves out. But the running around these things, the running around the nuclei of the atom, gives the atom friction and heat and light, and it gives it its actual energy, and it becomes a feedback loop, and it feeds back into itself. Well, it creates gravity. So in itself creating the gravity, it pulls another atom towards it. Well, they don't exactly become one unless the heat and the energy, unless it spins at a high enough velocity, unless it gets enough velocity to create, to coalesce, like a star, like we were talking about how stars coalesce within a nebula, how one speck of dust pulls another speck of dust like a magnet, and they literally, start to build up and it becomes this huge mass, and then the star, when a star is born, it's because it had already gone through the atom at a molecular rate, at a subatomic quantum level, like microscopic, beyond microscopic. It had already gone through that level just in atomic basis. And now you're seeing that atomic basis. They always determine it within like the models for the universe. They always determine it as bang, here it is. Just the light just turns on. But it happened at a spiritual, energetic, subatomic quantum level first. And then it just says bang, here I am, and it starts to, then you see the light of the star turn on, and the energy becomes, that's when the feedback loop takes over. That's when it starts to build within itself. And now it's, going on its own, and it starts to have its own gravity. Well, think about that for atoms. Atoms have their own gravity. They start to create their own gravity, and they pull other atoms toward it. Those other atoms become a part of it, and once they reach the speed of light, because your protons, neutrons, and electrons, those things are moving around the nuclei at the speed of light. Just because it's at a quanta level,
It looks like they're slow.
It looks like they're moving like the speed of molasses in the fucking winter time. So once you have that, then it has that feedback loop, and they are literally melding together. That's how you get H2O. So you get O2, because it's two oxygen atoms together acting as one oxygen atom. You know what I mean? So, and then you have hydrogen. Hydrogen is
carbon dioxide.
Yeah, it starts to build from there. What's the heaviest element? What's the lightest element? So the lightest element creates first, then it moves down into denser ones. But I wonder if that works backwards. I don't know, man. I've learned a lot about science and physics, but that and especially at quantum levels, man, that the universe has always been just amazing to me. Remember, we used to just sit and watch the universe? But so we did the same thing. We came from the central sun of the universe, of all universes, of the universe of universes, of the mommy of all universes, dude. We came from that central sun, and we project ourselves down through levels, but as we get, so we came from the first level. We came from the divine, the source of all creation. In Transformers, it would be the source, it would be the well of all sparks. We come from the well, and we came out to the first level. And okay, well, this is still doable. I can see Papa back there, I can see Mama back there, they're both the same. They're one and the same, because all things came from the one being. But think of the now birthed universe, the dimensions, the sub-levels. That's Mama. Those sub-levels are they are what was created out of the first division. So the divine wanted to know itself, so it divided itself. Well, when you divide a sheet of paper, you have one sheet, right? One sheet. Now you have
One sheet, but
two halves, but you also have now two whole pieces. There's still one sheet of paper, but it's two that are exactly alike. One mirrors the other. It's just two different aspects of one. So what happened when Eve was removed from Adam? What happened when they made Eve? Everybody says in the Bible, everybody says that Eve was made from Adam's rib, right? That's a lie that they tell us to conceal what actually happened. In the translation, even in the Hebrew, and the Jews ask any Jewish scholar today, they will literally, if they do not explain it to you, it's because it's not meant for you. It's because they believe it's not meant for you. You are going your sheep, your cattle to the slaughter. You're just here for them to make money off you. That's it. So you ask any of them, they'll tell you that. Oh man, I totally forgot where I was going with that. They'll tell you that the divine is the divine mother and the divine father all in one. But I totally forgot where I was going with that.
Adam and Eve.
I hate it when I do that. Okay, Adam and Eve. They will tell you that the rib, that's actually a lie. They removed a side. It translates a side. They opened his side and removed a side from him. Eve represented foreknowledge, wisdom, the divine mother within. See, Adam was created in the likeness of the divine, in the same image and likeness. So there's an image and a likeness. It separates physical and spiritual, but there's also two spiritual meanings to that. There's also two physical meanings to that. Everything is always as above, so below, and everything's also so below as so above. Everything's also as within, so without, and as without, so it reflects within. Everything's a feedback loop. Everything's a feedback loop. So when they removed Eve from Adam, it's symbology. It's symbolic of the split between the separation of this first separation. That's what the Bible's talking about. It's just an excerpt of a larger story that it takes getting into the Sumerian cuneiform, takes getting into the Vedas, the Hindu texts. Gosh, man, you could get into the Quran and everything, but the Quran and the Bible were created by the Catholics way back when the Council of Nicaea happened, man. That's literally where our Bible comes from. Well, we'll allow them to have this knowledge in the beginning, and if they can master that, then obviously they're going to have to come looking for us, because now we hold the knowledge, and so now we can train them the way we want them, and they make us the apostolites of hell, and twice that, and if not more. That's literally what begins to happen on that feedback loop, because they burned all the mystery schools and they keep the knowledge for themselves. They don't enter into the kingdom, nor do they allow any others. That's what Christ said. Christ said, you hold the keys to the kingdom, but yet you don't enter yourselves, and nor do you allow any others. When you take an apostolate, you make them twice the apostolate of hell as yourself was. That was the accusation made against the people who held the keys to the kingdom, and the Jews, So, and to say that, it sounds really anti-Zionist and really, really anti-Semitic, but I'm so not even anti-Semitic. I'm so not anti-Jew. I'm so pro-life, pro-people, pro-tolerance, pro-acceptance. We just are what we are, man. And, we, just as we are light beings, we are also, beings of the dark too, man. We have a father, a creator, and then we have like a stepdad that came along, or an uncle, however you want to look at it, that came along and kind of did stuff to us without us, knowing it. Made us drink from the waters of forgetfulness and put us to sleep. And then when we woke up, we had a wife and going, hey, where'd she come? Oh, she's from you. She's your wife. My wife? What? She's a part of, okay, well, since she's a part of me, she's flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone. I'll call her woman, because he was in control of everything. So with these lesser entities there's the Elohim in the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's Genesis 1:1. And all through Genesis 1, it is just God. And this Genesis 1:20. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and in the open firmament of heaven. All through, and we'll go up to 2. So Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So all through Genesis 1, all the way up to
Holy,
131. All the way up to 131, it is just God. In the King James Bible, it's just God doing this. Have I ever showed you that? Okay, let's go to the 6th day of creation. 129. And God said, behold, oh, nope, hold on. Let's not do that one. 127. 127. This is Genesis 1:27. This is the 6th day of creation, because man was created on the 6th day as the crowning jewel of all creation. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. In the image and likeness. The Father existing as the Father as a sole one being. He is the source of all. If everything came from him, he was both male and female in one. He was androgynous. We were created in his likeness and his image, both forwards and backwards. You cannot jack this up. The evil people cannot take this and flip it around and do it the other way and say, well, no, you were created like that, rah, rah, rah. No. You were created male and female as one. That's why even man still has feminine qualities within them. That's why we have all this. That's how they allow others to confuse them now. Because yeah, we do have these feminine qualities within us, and you see women that do construction jobs and live more masculine qualities, and that's how we get lesbians and gay. I don't know. It just is what it is. But we are created in his image and likeness. Not that we had both sexual organs and both sexual orientations, but yes, there are anomalies in nature where there are people that have both. It's crazy. I don't even know if both work though. Normally only one works and the other it's just like for showing.
It is there.
One's for working and one's for showing. One's for telling and one's for showing. But anyways, so we go from Genesis 1, and really it begins at 125, where God creates the beasts of the earth and everything, and it goes into 127, and that's when that's when the Elohim create mankind, create the crowning jewel of creation, us. Now Genesis 2, Genesis 2, this is where it gets really crazy. 2:7. Now, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Weren't we already alive back here in 127 on the 6th day before he rested? Okay, the Father that created us in 127, the divine Elohim, they went and rested while the master slept. His enemy crept in and sowed weeds in his field. When they woke up, they said, Master, didn't we not go buy good seed? Did we not plant good seed in this field? What the hell's up with all these weeds? And he said, surely this is the work of my enemy. And they said, Master, what do you want us to do? Pull up the weeds and, get rid of them, or just replow? What do you want to do? And he says, no, just relax. We'll let the weeds grow with the wheat, and at the end, we'll gather the wheat and we'll gather it into the barn, and we'll gather the weeds and we'll burn the weeds and we'll thresh the wheat at the end. It's a parable of all parables, literally. That first parable literally describes every other parable within itself, just in a different way. So the enemy crept in while our Papa was sleeping, We'll just leave it as just one Papa because people can't imagine multiple gods yet. They can't imagine that everybody came together, that all the energies came together to make us. Okay, but we were created spiritually. We are spiritual beings first. Then the Lord God, if you look at it in, I use an Et Sefer. It is the literal, like it was just made a couple years ago. The creators of it, the people that, man, oh man, his last name's Peacock. I can't remember his first name to save my life right now.
I couldn't even know.
But he is a ball of flippin' energy. That guy just has knowledge for days. I don't know how he remembers it all. He said when he was asked, how do you remember all of this? How do you commit all this to memory? He said, when I was a child, I was made to commit everything to memory. Songs, notes for piano and violin and stuff. And he said, I had to commit everything to memory due to my parents. He said, so it's a product of my upbringing. Said, so I took that and I went into studying the Bible. He was like, I want to know where we come from. And it literally, once you start here, it takes you to your roots. Well, what's your roots? This all comes from the Hebrew and the Greek. So it went from Hebrew to Greek to here. So you have to go from here to the Greek, you have to backtrack it. So you go from here to the Greek, to the Koine Greek, to the Hebrew, and, back into the Latin and into Sumerian, and it goes into Babylonian, and every culture in the world has a piece of this. Every culture in the world. So when you get back into the original verbiage, that's why I say the Elohim created the heavens and the earth and everything in them. Then Yahweh Elohim, or Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yah, first El created. The beings of El, the original beings, created. Now the beings of Yah, the God of form, the God of this world. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. Well, these guys in the Nag Hammadis, it depicts actually on the origins of the world, on the origins of creation. Well, actually, it's on the origins of the world because creation is back here. It says that the princes of chaos they wanted to create a worker that they could use to, do the crap around the earth, man. They didn't want to take care of the garden themselves. They were tired of being slaves themselves. So they created a body. They decided to come together and put their power together and manifest a body. So they made Adam, but his body laid lifeless on the ground for 40 days until Sophia, because once they had created the body, then instantly he's depicted as Samael, as his original name was oh man, Father, please give it to me. He became the blind god, but he was created by Sophia out of ignorance, without her counterpart. And so when she had noticed what she had done, she'd cast him out into the outer darkness, like, hey, no, stay out there, beyond what she thought her father could see, the creator. And he was Yaldabaoth. It means youth pass over here. That's what she said to him, like, oh no, get over here, come this way. Hide is what she wanted to do. She wanted to hide him away from the divine creators, from her counterpart, and from the other Elohim. She wanted to hide him away so that, she wasn't, found in her iniquity, found in her transgression. That she had brought a being into form, or created a being in the spirit without her counterpart, without wisdom. Well, she asked for wisdom and foreknowledge to come before her. But anyways, okay, so Yaldabaoth gets created, he gets thrown out into the outer darkness. He thinks that there is no other God but him. That's why we've got, I am a jealous God, there are no gods but me. If you worship anybody else, I will come against you and I will kill every man, woman, and child within your family. I will literally curse you from cover to cover with every curse in this book. Just think about it. Up until the 3rd and 4th generation, he will visit those curses upon your children for doing so, for having any other God but him. It's the God of this world. It's the God of the body. If you put anything before your body, he's going to curse you from cover to cover with, and he'll do it unto the 3rd and 4th generation. Well, when he created and formed man, they needed a worker. So he forms a body. They all come together and they form a body. Well, they figure out, oh shit, this is the body that the light that appeared to us when we said, because when he made claims that there is no other God to his angels, because he said, I am a jealous God, and there you will have no other gods before me. I am the only one. And they said, the angels that he created, the Yahweh Elohim, that's why they're depicted as the Yahweh Elohim, because El is a singular God, but the I am on the end, the I and the M is Im. In the Hebrew, just having that Im on the end makes it plural. The Nephilim, the Giborim, it just makes it plural. Because to be a Gibor is just a giant. But Giborim is giants.
Multiple giants.
It's multiple giants, like a clan of giants, So whenever you see that on the end of a word, it automatically means plural. It doesn't mean masculine or feminine. It just means plural. The rest of the sentence will determine whether it's masculine or feminine. But so when he declared himself, when he said, I'm a jealous God, his angels that he created, the ones he created, who the F is this guy jealous of? If there's no other God, who the F is he going to be jealous of? All he has is us, and he created us. Of course we're gonna be, loyal to him. It's our maker. That's who they're thinking of. Dude, who else is there? And when they began to reason within themselves, he said, why do you reason within yourselves? And they said, well, because you said you're jealous. Who else is there then? And he said, well, if there is any other light before mine, let it appear before us now. And boom, Sophia turned on her light and came in from the heavens and said, and prophesied of the man to come that would be their downfall. These are, the Yahweh Elohim are the agents of chaos, basically. They're God of form. They're the gods of form. And she prophesied of the man to come that would be their end. And that they would make him. So when they made the body, when they brought Adam's body into form, Sophia had already created Adam in the heavens. We were alive from the founding of the world, from the founding of creation. We were alive. We were in the heavens with Sophia being taught all things from our Father. We were led into all wisdom, everything. Man, dude, we are so loved, man. It's stupid. But when they had made the body, only after they had come together to make this slave, did they realize, oh shit, this is it. This is what she was talking about. Oh, dude, what do we do now? So they were fearful and they left the body for 40 days laying on the ground. They were fearful of it. So, man, what do we do now? Crap, dude, if we go through with this, if we give this thing life,
this will be our downfall.
Then we literally just created our entire destruction in one vessel. While they were off reasoning, Sophia crept down and, come on, Adam, let's go. It's time for you to take on your destiny. And she placed Adam into the body, and the body became a living being, a formed being. They brought the form because it's carnal. So, it was their job through destiny. The divine creator knew what was going on already, because he is Yaldabaoth. He is Sophia. If there's only one source, then, he divided himself into those beings. They are just expressions of him. But it's the expression of this certain power. It's the expression of this certain power. This masculine quality, this feminine quality. You know what I mean? It's just an expression. Like, you're an expression. I'm an expression. Grandma's an expression. Your mom's an expression. Everybody's an expression of the divine being. We are the same one divine being at our core, but singular. Because we're all different, right? We all think different. We're all wired different. And that's a whole nother story about how we enter in through the kingdom. How we enter into the kingdom through one of 12 gates. That's just the zodiac. You enter into this world through one of 12 gates. You have a sun sign, a moon sign, a flippin' rising sign, and those make up your threefold nature of your physical being. But then there's also your transits that make up your spiritual being and the way you are wired up. But so, anyways, let's stick with this though. So, when they created him, they created their own downfall, and Adam was brought. He was, he still. So they came to him. They were like, "Hey, what's shit? Didn't we leave this body laying on the ground? It's up, moving around now. What the hell happened? What happened?" So they began to question him. Well, let's ask him. We'll find out what he knows. If he knows anything, then then we might have something to be fearful. But if he knows nothing, then we can manipulate him. We can just make him that slave that we were trying to be. We can keep him down and not tell him of his true nature, and we can keep him a slave forever. And he can multiply. So how do we multiply this being? Well, he's got masculine and feminine within him. He is one. He is a divine being. He is an actual exact replica of the one divine being. So they put him to sleep. They make him drink of the waters of forgetfulness. Well, okay, first before they make him drink of the waters of forgetfulness, they bring the animals before him to test him. He didn't name the animals per se, like he named the deer, the bull,
Bear.
Yeah, dude. It was testing. They were, what is this? Well, that's a bull. That's Aries. That's the bull. It's a leader. You know what I mean? And then, they bring something else before him, and he knew what that was too. And he knew what that was, and he knew the meaning behind it. He knew why it was that. That's what the issue was. He knew the whys to the whats. He knew the hows to the whos. He knew it in and out. And they were fearful. They said, "Oh crap, this is the big that was prophesied of. This is our destruction manifested. How do we stop this from going forth? Or our judgment will be swift." So they waited for him to fall asleep. They, made him drink of the waters of forgetfulness afterward. But they opened up his side, and they removed a side of him. Not his rib, a side. They tell us a rib because they want us to believe the damn lie, and they want us to continue to be frickin' slaves. And if you stay at this base, at the outer layer of the onion, if you stay here, that's what you are. You're a slave to yourself, and you're a slave to everything else around you. Because everybody's just working for the collective. Oh, well, I'll go and do stuff for the community, and the community will benefit, and, I'll feel better about myself because I'm doing stuff for them. But really, you just made yourself a slave to everyone else but yourself. You should be a slave to yourself first, a slave to the divine within, not a slave to the carnal man. I'm not saying that at all, but balance, a slave to the divine first, a servant to the divine. He doesn't even ask for servitude. He doesn't even ask for worship. That's how you know he's your father. Only the God of this world demands worship. Yahweh and his Elohim need worship to live, to exist. They need you to do as you are told so that they can live. They need you to be a slave here in the carnal so that they can get power there and continue to live. But it's here. It's always here. It's just an underlying world, the underworld, the underlining world. We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, dude, they removed Eve from him. Eve is a representation of the Divine Mother, wisdom,
The feminine side.
foreknowledge. You know, women have intuition. They know what's gonna. It's like a dog at the. You know, when somebody comes to the door, before that doorbell even rings, that dog is up and alert and looking at that door, and you can tell by the way that dog is either wagging its tail, happy as crap, just like, yeah, my master's home, or somebody
Or
I know is
barking,
here,
yeah.
you know, or they are viciously barking at that door. There's somebody on the other side of that door coming,
That they
and,
don't like.
and they ain't worth a shit. Get them out of here, or I will. You know what I mean? You know that dog's intuition is intact because they haven't fallen. They're not fallen beings like we are. We are the fallen beings. We are. We fell from grace. We came from this up here, and we projected ourselves down through those multiple dimensions. And we became so dense and so far away from the light that we literally lost ourselves within the darkness. We got so dense that we became into form. And now we're stuck in these lower vibrations because now we don't have enough light within ourselves to get back to here. But we do. If we search within, there is enough light within you. Trust me, there is. At your very core, your very essence is the singular one divine being. Get in touch with him. Burn yourself on the altar of your heart. Don't burn another. Pick up your cross, follow after him. You will have exactly what he had. We are brothers and sisters, not servants. He made us equal with him. In his high priestly prayer, he said, may you have everything that I have. He said, Father, may you be all in them as you are all in me. And may I be all in them as I am all in you. Dude, just that one brief statement, just that one brief
says a
prayer
lot.
that he asked for us. Dude, may we have everything that he has and more. Jesus raised the dead. He made the
He
blind
healed.
to see. He made the deaf hear. He made the dumb speak. He made the lame walk. We believe he made those people, you know, he healed those people. In a way, yes, only because he brought the knowledge for them to heal themselves. And everything that Jesus did, go back and look. He said, according to your faith, let it be done unto you. According to what you believe, it will be done. And you know what he said? He also said in one of his teachings, he said, as a man thinks, so he is. So it is. So what you believe determines everything that was going to befall you. If you believe that the world is against you and that everybody is out to get you and that everything's just garbage,
Then
it's
it will
all
be.
shit, it's all just shit, then so it is. So it will be to you until you change
Your
mind.
mindset.
Until you change how you're seeing it and change your perspective. Rise above that defeated mentality and see the bigger picture. Get the overview. I am loved. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I am. All things flow to and from me. I am, because I am all things. So yes, if we are all things, then we are both
Good
abundance.
and bad.
That too. We are both abundance and we are completely destitute.
Light and dark. Yeah.
You know, but it's what we choose. If you want to walk because the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. So you have to walk that fine line, of giving and taking away. You want to be an active participant in your life, right? But you're not the hero. You're not the villain either. You need to have the objective perspective of the observer.
Kind of like a bystander.
Just
a third party.
Just watch your life. Don't react to your life. Watch your life. Let your life teach you. Let your experiences teach you in life. life lessons, and allow them to be your teacher, because there's no greater teacher than the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is literally walking through your life with you, making things happen for you and to you, but they're all happening for you.
Mhm.
Even though it feels like it's happening to you, I get it. Trust me. And my own hardships with that, of figuring out, man, why does this keep happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? This sucks. It hurts. Rah, 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 rah. Well, if you rise above that perspective, it's happening for you. What is that experience teaching you?
Mhm.
Why does that experience keep coming to you?
What knowledge am I getting from this?
Where's the harvest in this? You know, like a relationship goes to crap. Well, what'd you learn from that? Because that's the physical, material harvest of the things spiritually not seen. You know, the lessons, the thought forms, well, crap, don't do it like that again. You know, if I do it like that, then technically I'm insane, because only an insane person will do the same thing over and over
And thinks it's gonna have a different.
have different results, right? If you do the same crap over and over and you expect different results, you're insane.
Crazy.
And also, even Einstein said this: you cannot fix a problem with the same mindset that created it. You must rise above it and change your perspective. Get a new perspective. See above. See the big picture. Get a different mind. Change your mind, and you can change the world. You can change your world. Then, only then, can you change the greater world. But man, we went all kinds of different places with this.
Yeah. It didn't just stay on topic.
But one thing leads to another. Always one thing permeates the other. There's never one thing that will just stay as one thing. Everything always perpetuates into something else. And you know me, I'm ADHD, dude. So
Yeah.
one thing goes to another with me, man. I'm always focusing on 8 different things at once. But yeah, dude, I don't know. We can keep doing something else.
I think
But
I'm kind of the same way because I can keep up.
I totally love you, man.
I love it.
I love that we can totally do this. This is my son Isaiah, man. Like, to be able to do this kind of stuff with your kids, this is the greatest blessing in the world, when they become aware, self-aware, and aware of the things around them. Just, this is the good stuff in life. Trust me, man. When your kids get it, and now your kids can take it on and pass theirs on to their kids and everything. Man, this is Adam and Seth and Enosh and Enoch and Methuselah, and this is the divine blessing, to have your children descend and ascend you. That's where it's at. That is truly where it's at. To see your child go to hell is not where it's at, right? Nobody wants to see that. You know, but to see your children take interest in the true knowledge and the true wisdom and the deeper understanding, so that they have wisdom within themselves. They have life within themselves, and they can give their life and they can take it back up again. That was the blessing of Christ too. I have power within myself, that my Father, there is a commandment given to me from my Father, that I may lay down my life and I may take it back up again myself, within my own power. When your children discover that power within themselves too, it's a glorious day. You guys take it easy. Stay blessed. Love and light, guys.
Take care.